Okay, Teamfight Tactics patch 9.14b notes. So, welcome to my second ever Teamfight Tactics patch rundown. You know, I thought I wasn't gonna do these, and then I realized that I kind of I'm gonna do them anyways, right? In my head, and I'm probably gonna do them on stream anyways. So why not just do them period and make it official? So I got famous doing these for Summoner's Rift for a small game you may know as League of Legends, and I guess I'm back doing it full time on a weekly basis for Teamfight Tactics. Anyways, this is the TFT current patch schedule is they're gonna have B patches. So these side B patches will be making changes mostly focused on balance and bug fixes. But the next big change is every other week. So they have a small patch, big patch cycle. Okay. So big patch every 2 weeks, small patch every week. So this is a small patch cycle. So before we move on, let's talk about what this patch is about. Every video, I'll probably talk a little bit about how I see the state of the game and what I think needs to be changed. So obviously, and very, very nice of them to include this as the default picture for this patch because she's broken. And this girl needs to be nerfed because she's actually broken. I actually think, generally speaking, assassins aren't even that strong. I think of all the assassins in the game. I think realistically, Pyke's good. Zed's good, but mainly because of the ninja buff, not because of him. He's actually very underwhelming. Aside from the fact that he's a ninja, so he gets extra AD. But by himself, his ulti is one of the worst in the game. Kha'Zix, which is really good early. Like, I'll give him that. Good early game snowballing assassin. Great. Love it. Evelyn, pretty good. Buffed her, synergizes well with demons. I like her. Cat, super situational, terrible base health. Not that good. Not that good. And Akali. Hey, it turns out Akali's the only good one. Pretty much. But she's so good that she warps all the assassins because she makes it so that assassins are broken, I think. I don't know how. I really worry for assassins because I feel like if Akali gets nerfed, then assassins in general will have a tough time. On top of this girl warping the meta, Volibear is broken, and the reason why Volibear is broken is he got huge buffs next patch. I think that the biggest problem with the buffs is that he's no longer item dependent. He's no longer recurve bow item dependent. Before he was very, very much item dependent on needing 2 recurve bow items to pop off. But nowadays he doesn't need that anymore. I've seen him pop off with half a recurve, but like 1 recurve bow item total. And I think that that's wrong. I think because they made him too easily able to carry brawler comps, he's able to be doing something that brawlers shouldn't do in the first place. Brawlers should be an alternative beefy frontline to knights. However, that ended up happening that brawlers became a beefy frontline and they became broken because one of the beefy frontliners just was the best carry in the game, and that's Volibear. So both of those need to be looked at. On top of that, I think demons are too overpowered right now and hopefully get nerfed in this patch. And Yordles are pretty strong and should probably be careful about them in general. Cool, let's keep going. So what did they change? Critical strike damage. Now it stacks additively instead of multiplicatively, paired with changes to assassins and IE. Also in this patch, assassins will deal about 25% less damage and IE will come out net neutral. Okay, that's a huge nerf to assassins. 25% less damage on assassins. Remember I talked about how assassins suck ass? Aside from maybe 1 or 2, like Pyke and Akali. So I'm really worried for assassins in general because in the highest level of play, which matters because the high level meta tends to trickle down quite a bit. No one really goes assassins. Like people who try to brute force assassins all get stomped because assassins, especially ninja assassins, tend to stabilize around level 8. And all the good comps in high elo stabilize around 6 or 7. Like you can't wait to get to 8 a lot of times unless you're super high rolling, because you'll just take too much damage to get to level 8 if that's your power spike. And for the most common assassin comp, that's what it is. That's why ninja elementalists are much better and will be even better after this patch than assassins in general. So I think one of the things I would like to see in the for assassins overall is probably making some of them ranged. I think assassins deal with the most pathing issues, and I think part of the way to fix assassins just freezing on their jump in or having movement problems is making 1 or 2 or 3 of them ranged. I know in Dodo Auto Chess they ended up having a lot of ranged assassins. You had TA, you had Queen of Pain, you had Morphling, and in this game they're all melee, which is really, really weird. I do hope at some point especially with the smaller board, I would imagine there's more need for ranged assassins than there were before. So I hope there are ranged assassins in the future. Anyways, let's keep going. Source assassin nerf. Okay, that's the deal. Okay, that's big ass nerf. We all know this. Cool. Bonus AP. There's 10 additional bonus AP. Nice when you splash 3 sorcerer comps. I think this is really nice. You'll commonly have people do this. The rank 1 player in a Solus does demons 3 Yordle sorcerers. So he does it with like Morgana and like the 2 Yordle sorcerers. And I think being able to splash 3 sorcerers in comps should make there to be a little bit more versatility. I like that. Wild, 2% buff, overall 10% more attack speed. Generally very good, because remember Wild affects every unit on your board. So like Wild Shapeshifters is not a very top tier comp, but every single buff to this, every percentage they add makes it adds attack speed to every single unit in your comp. So with enough buffs, Wild should be pretty good. Like this is a pretty decent buff to Wild. I think especially now if you're starting the Nidalee Warwick Wild opener, and you can look to make this. They actually made Wild Sorcerers better too, because it runs 3 Sorcerers with Soul. Could be pretty interesting running that comp again. Golem HP got nerfed from Elementalists. I think this is good. I think Elementalists are still too strong to splash. One of the best comps in the game is still going to be like Ninja Elementalists after this patch. And the top tier comp last patch was Brawler Elementalists, and a lot of the Demon Glacial comps run Elementalists as well. And a top tier Yordle comp has Elementalists at 8. And you see the problem where I just start listing Elementalists in every comp in the game, because it's so easy to splash. Has great synergies with both Demon and Glacial, which are top tier, and tend to do a lot of both utility as well as damage. Let's keep it moving. Ahri is a problem. So Morgana is the best mage in the game, I think, right now. And to get the jump between Ahri to Morgana is pretty massive. I think buffing Ahri is definitely the way to go. And remember, Ahri is also a wild, so she ended up hitting double buffs and potentially probably even triple buffs if you count the sorcerer. So she's a very interesting unit that tends to use Ludens very, very well. One of the best Ludens users due to her quick ability to cast and recast and stuff. I think this is going to be fairly interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing some more Ahri. The damage buff is really small. Like if I remember Gunslinger's got a Lucian buff that went from 65 to 150 on level 1 Lucian. And that's what Lucian got. And I look at Ahri and she got 25, like 0 buff at 1 and a 25 damage buff at 2, which feels like a quite different, you know, quite a lot different. Additionally, there's a Kali here. Let's move on from Ahri. I think she got a little bit better with everything. That's fine. Akali is the big X factor. So she lost 50 health. Her attack speed's down by 0.505, which is okay. Pretty small nerf, but generally speaking, this is going to be the much bigger nerf. The crit damage. I think she's still probably problematic in the sense that she's still going to be the best assassin. And when stuff like Seraphs comes around, she just like machine guns out her ulti and does more damage than anyone else, even at rank 1 Akali. I think in the future, they're probably gonna have to nerf this champion a little bit, and to be able to bring up the other assassins, which I think are fairly weak. Oh, the Kali's attack speed buff is a buff apparently because it lets her attack after the mana lock has passed. Wait, that's actually, if that's the case, then that's a pretty big missight by Riot Games. I don't know if that's the case. That seems a little bit weird. Anyways, let's keep going. Evelyn got her AD increased, her health decreased. I actually think she was fairly tanky given the rate that she was at. So I don't mind this. I think she's a very good unit. Like she is compared to the other 3-cost tier 3 assassin. Katarina has 450 base health, which is god awful. And remember, attack damage is really, really good for assassins in general because it's multiplicative in terms of how much they do when you get multiple assassins. So 10 AD tends to be quite a good buff for a lot of champions. Speaking about AD buffs and nerfs, Kennen just got 5 AD knocked off. Remember, ninjas give extra AD, so it ends up being a little bit more than 5. Probably somewhere around like a 10, more than a 10% cut when you count the ninja. But man, this champ's broken. Like straight up, this is still the best champ in the game. He's flexible and Elementalist, top tier comp. Ninjas still gonna be fairly good with Elementalists, as well as Yordle's a top tier comp. So Kennen, I found the best way to describe Kennen. So if you guys ever played Dodo Auto Chess, which I'm sure like 2 of you did, because I was the only one who was really interested in that game. Dodo Auto Chess had a unit called Razor, and Razor was like god unit in that game. Like Razor was like you picked every Razor in the game, regardless of the situation. He did AOE damage and just like he was just the best, one of the best units in the game. Kennen is the Razor of TFT. You always take Kennen. You can fit him in every comp. He's so good. His ulti even stuns. So it's like, I feel like Kennen is just too valuable overall. And I'm very, very surprised that he didn't get more nerfs. Additionally, Mordekaiser got a little bit of health buff. Great. This unit sucks ass. Alongside Vayne, these are like the 2 worst units in the game, especially at 1 cost. Poppy ended up getting a buff, 100 damage at level 2 and 200 at 3. Poppy is actually a really scarily good unit. I actually love Poppy right now. So any buffs to her might be too much. I think Yordles are going to be way too good on this current patch. I'm very, very scared. I actually found out recently that Yordles have what I consider like, Yordles are weird in the sense that they dodge abilities, but they don't dodge on hit procs. So like right now their ability is kind of bugged from what I understand, but like I'm pretty sure that's getting fixed in the future, and Yordles have the potential to be like even more powerful. Like I always get really scared about Yordle buffs because I'm just like, holy fuck, dude, these Yordles are gonna pop off. And I play Yordles quite a bit. Like on my way to push the Masters this season, I played probably like, say about 30% of my games as Yordles, and so I'm pretty in tune with how powerful this synergy is. Just be very, very careful. Just be very, very careful. Rengar guy is 80 buffed. Oh, this is actually nice. So remember we talked about weaker assassins? Notice 2 assassins got that 1080 here to compensate. I actually really like this. I think Rengar is one of them. And also remember he's a wild, so maybe wild can run 3 assassins in some weird way that can make Rengar like a stackable damage dealing carry. So this is kind of interesting. Like definitely surprising buffs to certain assassins, but definitely what they needed. Tristana got an attack speed nerf. Don't sleep on this. So one of the top comps right now is the Curse Shrink Gunslinger comp. And you stack with Blade Master Trist. You stack stupid amounts of attack speed on Trist and on hit items, and she just hard carries. A 0.05 is quite significant. And that sounds stupid, but generally speaking, like especially when you're getting to like the 2 and 3 item recurve, it ends up being like a decent nerf. And then we look down here, Volibear got a 0.1 attack speed nerf, and on this end, I think he needed it. I think Volibear should never be a hardcore carry unless you can stack like 2 recurves worth of items on Volibear, like a recurve plus like a shrink, and then he's like, he doesn't attack that fast, but he does enough to where like you're happy you have him, right? But I feel like he was doing way too much carry for what he was supposed to be, which is a beefy boy. But yeah, what else did they do? They also nerfed the shrink item. So shrink is stupid, and I'm probably gonna go ahead and say it should be I don't like this item in the game. I would even at a alright, they're either gonna nerf this point to the point where no one else can use them outside of gunslingers, which are the best comp in the game at proccing on hits, or it's just gonna be broken, because it's either gonna be broken with everything or only good with one thing. This is such a I don't like the effect. I don't mind like shrinking stuff. Like if you want to shrink and be like, let's decrease base stats, that's okay. But like for me to be level 7 and push really hard to get like a 2-star Cho, just to get them shrunk on the 1st or 2nd auto by Tristana with no skill expression from the other player. Like he's been using this item since round 1 because it's so good. Like it's just a great item at every point in the game. He always takes it. Like it feels very, very bad for me as a person playing against it. And when I play it, because I got the Masters with gunslingers, I feel like a degenerate because I'm just like, yeah, you wanted to play the game, but you couldn't because this item exists. And so I don't mind so much the Swordbreaker or the Hush as much because at least they keep the raw base values. But the Cursed Blade just seems just over the top, just broken. And I'm looking at these nerfs to Triss and Cursed Blade, and the thing is, I did a gunslinger strategy last week, and I still think it's going to be, or a couple days ago, and I still think it's going to be pretty good. Like, I don't think they nerfed it enough, and I thought they were gonna nerf it more. I'm pretty unhappy with Cursed Blade, and I hope that Riot just removes this item. I don't know how it could be balanced with its current trigger effect. IE got buffed. Remember, this buff is to compensate for the assassin nerf, but I want to say, isn't this just a net buff for everyone else? I think IE is a really slept upon item, actually. It's not? It's the same? Okay, never mind. The same thing. Okay, wait. If it's the same exact thing, let's talk about IE. This is a slept on item for sure. I know a lot of people won't use it that much. I know Zeke's has a lot of value right now, but I think IE is a lot stronger than people think, especially on backline carries. All right, let's keep going. Locket, yeah, this is already micro patch. Morello's, this is huge. Remember how we talked about Morello's? This is actually enormous. So it does it. Why did they buff Morello's? What? I wasn't having problems doing damage with Morello's. I slap this shit on my Kennen every game, and he just goes to town because ulti takes 6 times and stuns. I don't think Morello's needed to be buffed, especially to this degree where it got almost 100%. It got a 66% buff. That's crazy. It's true damage too. Remember, guys. So yeah, I guess like this item's gonna be just nuts. I would put this item on every Kennen in the game and just have him slap people. I'll probably look to prioritize this item a little bit more now. I'll probably even put it on Morgana. I've done that in the past. I think Morello's is just super crazy right now. Super nuts. Overall patch, nerf some of the things that would matter. I'm worried about the strength of demons. I think demons are going to be way too powerful at the end. Oh, and these are just buff or bug fixes. I think Morello's is going to be, or Yordos are going to be too powerful, and demons are going to be too powerful. Probably every top tier comp is going to be running some sort of demon at the moment, and I think that they should, because demons are way too overtuned. They're individually, demon units are too strong right now, and it's only going to be more and more obvious on this patch. So get ready for the patch of demons, in my opinion. That's going to be a really interesting one.